Hey, welcome everybody to a lovely afternoon 100% race in round 4 of the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. We have a race today between Enmet and kashmod, and the runners are just about ready to get going. And I'm Maniacal, and I'm joined by French Lightning John. John, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. And you, Maneko?
Oh, I'm doing great, and also we'll have special guest tag team Kip coming up. So at some point, Kip is going to show up, and I am going to trade spots with him, and John is going to anchor this whole thing. But looks like the runners are off, and having a little bit of a hang up there in Series 1. Clearly, kashmod has an insurmountable lead, will not give it up. Now, these runners are pretty closely matched, and I'm really excited for this race. And Hundo is such a long run that there's just so much room for these little things to accumulate for both runners. Like their kashmod had a little bit of trouble making it to that door.
Yeah,
Door just didn't
that's
see him.
true. With Undo, there's so much that I'm pretty sure we will see a lot of league change.
Yeah, and even if it's not lead change, it'll be adjustments of where everyone's gaining and losing time. There's so many little things. I have a Hundo race later tonight, and I am dreading it. It's absolutely a terrifying category to run, but I love it anyway.
There's not a lot of people that love it, but me too. Like you, I do love this category because there's so much to do. There's so much happening in Undo.
Absolutely, it's all these rooms to get all the extra items. It's nice and cozy because you have a whole bunch of fanfares, so you get a bunch of dead time. It's great for chat interaction and being tilted, but also it gets to show off a whole bunch of really cool movement tech because you have all these extra items that you wouldn't have in a lot of categories. And so I think that this week in the multi-category tournament is a really cool week. Just in general, because we have two categories where you have basically all the movement items and one category where you have basically none of the movement items.
That's pretty true. GT Classic, Undo, and low percent ice.
Yeah, so GT Classic, the GT code just gives you all the movement items when you make it to GT. And then low percent ice, you're very restricted in terms of it's exactly prescribed what you need to pick up in low percent ice. So a lot of cool strats we're going to get to see this week. And Hundo is the longest of the categories in general, and gives us the most time to showcase advanced movement tech.
Yes, later in the games, I think it's right after Wreck Ship, we will begin to see a lot of advanced tech, especially in Meridian.
Yeah, Meridian, even the Bryn cleanup is really cool. Basically, after Wreck Ship is where the category really kind of pivots and changes from like an any percent old route. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff that you kind of get on the way, but it really starts to look different once you make it through Wreck Ship.
And I want to point out that in the climb, we see both of them didn't use Moonfall. Both of them are using the standard regular falling speed. But I know that Enmet is using Moonwalk to help in some situation, but he still do not use Moonfall.
Yeah, I had a Hundo race against Enmet a couple weeks ago. Didn't go so well for me. Enmet, it turns out, very very good at 100%, and kashmod no slouch either, keeping pace. But I really enjoy watching Enmet run 100%. He has a very very good time on the leaderboard and is very experienced with the category.
Oh, yes, he has a very good time. I'm not sure about kashmod. I didn't see him run out. I didn't see his time, but I'm sure you did your own work compared to me.
You're sure I did my homework, eh? As I open the spreadsheet and pull up PBs. Enmet has a 118.22 listed for 100%, and kashmod has a 124.55 listed. So yes, that's the homework. I just did it right as it was due, and I hope I passed. That's been the approach lately. But both runners in the climb, we're seeing two competing but beautiful approaches to the climb here. Kashmod got a little hung up doing a ledge grab climb. Enmet went with a traditional right side wall climb, and both doing a very nice job.
Yes. Also to note that both climbs are basically the same speed. Walking climb being technically faster, but since as human we do mistake, they are technically the same speed.
Yeah, Enmet with a nice low 450 bombs time, and Kashmod also going to get a sub 5 touch here at a 459. So both runners having a really good early game. But yeah, both those climb strats are pretty competitive. It's really kind of like taster's choice in terms of which one you want to go with here. You just kind of pick your favorite flavor of climb and run with it. I recently switched over to the ledge grab climb, finding it more consistent for me personally, but everyone kind of has their own preference.
That's pretty true. The ledge grab is also switch in the very early on though for the ledge grab climb because of how consistent it is.
Yeah, nice Alcatraz there, very smooth from Enmet. We'll see if Kashmod gets the same. He does. Very nicely done. But while we're still in the sort of early game part of the run, I did want to talk about how we ended up with a 100% matchup today. So Enmet, as the higher seed in the tournament, had the option of deferring or taking the first veto. He deferred to Kashmod. Kashmod vetoed low percent ice in the race channel. And Enmet, given the choice of running GT Classic or 100%, elected to run 100%. So that's how we got a hundo race today.
Which I think was very wise on Enmet being the higher seed, not doing undo since he has a better time. Because GT Classic with the Green Gate glitch can be very volatile as a category. So.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of hundo this week. As sort of lower seeds veto low percent ice, and then higher seeds elect for the stable movement based category. But we'll see how it plays out.
And now both our runners going to the room we call early super, doing the first sequence break, doing a mock ball across the bridge to cross all of those gates. Normally intended you need speed booster, but with the take all mock ball, we can get those super very early, which skip a bus named Spore Spawn.
Yeah, and there was a nice strat divergence here in this room because the runners need to come back and open the missile door to get the reserve and the items back here that they wouldn't have to in a typical any percent run, for instance. They elect to not kill that waver at the top of the room when they're going to grab the super missiles, and instead use it to get a damage boost by jumping into it and throw themselves back to keep iframes to make it back through the room quickly. Enmet getting the nice early supers mock ball back out, and then Kashmod getting the same mock ball, getting that short hop mock ball through the door under the gate. Pretty nuanced tech, very nice from both runners.
Oh, I'm surprised by Enmet going around killing all the enemies. I was thinking since he has jumped, he was going to cargo through the Zilla and then mock ball through it.
Yeah, that door correction mock ball through that Zilla is pretty tight, but you can get a door correction there because the door is not aligned the way that you naturally do the room. There's a bunch of really little optimizations, and in a category like hundo, which is popularly referred to as sort of a death by 1,000 cuts category, because you just lose time everywhere, and then all of a sudden your time sucks. That's how it goes for me, at least. Those little optimizations really add up to 5, 10, 15 seconds over the course of the run, just because there's so many rooms where saving a few frames here and a few frames there really matters.
Oh, they all add up. Also, we see that both of them decide to skip charged missiles. The reason for that is that since they will need to return later, it's faster with power bombs to just take it when they do the cleanup.
Yeah, and so far both runners really clean. The real difference here was a couple small hangups for Kashmod, but mostly both runners are really nailing everything. Kashmod following Enmet there with a really nice unmorphed down back to clear the red tower descent cleanly. Same thing we saw from Enmet. We'll see. I missed if Enmet went for the door correction into Spazer, but gets his Spazer, is going to come out, see if he gets the mock ball. Kashmod does do that door correction. And Enmet going with a bomb strat for the shot block. Little bit of a time loss there, so maybe Kashmod makes up some time here on the way out of Spazer.
I think because Enmet forgot to all a shot during the yard transition.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kashmod took a dip in the drink there.
Now Enmet is the first to enter the Craig's area.
Yeah, nice. Soft morph there after killing that Zila. Didn't get the drop, but that's okay. Doesn't need it. Using a spin jump there to get another door correction into Kraid's lair. There's so many stupid little things in how these rooms work, but they're both nailing all of them, and it's awesome.
Yep. And as you can see, since although you have so much missiles, even if you don't have any super missiles, it's not a big problem because you can blast everything with missiles and you still have enough of what you need to do.
Yeah, and Enmet going for a 2-missile quick kill on Kraid, 2-missile 3 supers, nails it. We'll see if Kashmod gets the same. But this is going to be a really nice Varia time for Enmet.
And nicely done from Kashmod, also nailing the Kraid quick kill.
Yeah, and going with a... Looked like you went for a deboost strat there now. I think we're getting a 30 frame per second stream there from Kashmod because there was an invisible Samus that a bunch of drops just disappeared and then Samus was running to the right. Enmet taking a little bit of a hit there from Sklade on the way out. But the Kraid E-Tank will bail him out here in just a second. Yeah. See if he gets this mock ball.
Nicely done.
Nice.
That's
a favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty fun with Under the Beginning because you don't really care too much about drops because there's so much items to take that it kind of reveals what you need to get, like the items that creates a location, all the missiles you will take.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of items and not a lot of places where you really need to use them early on, and so by mid-run, you end up with a bunch of extra resources that you sort of end up just hemorrhaging away on stupid things if they go wrong.
Yeah.
But Enmet about to get one of the best movement items in the game here, heading on to his high jump boots. And it's unfortunate that Kip is not yet here, but that is one of his absolute favorite item.
I can understand why it is one of his favorite items. It's such a good item.
It's incredibly powerful. It doesn't sound like a powerful item, but it just simplifies movement in so many rooms. Just being able to jump just that little bit higher it's actually quite a bit higher, is so big, and he's already showing it off there as he leaves here.
Yeah, and you do like more item book once you do your first low percent category, because not having it, you see the difference and you understand why it is such a good item after that.
Yeah, another way you'll run into that is, if you run randomizer or something and just don't find high jump boots, you start to realize how much it sucks to not have them.
That is very true also.
And Enmet remembering to get his cathedral missiles. Hopefully Kashmod does as well. I wouldn't expect either of these runners at this skill level to be at risk of forgetting an item, but there is stuff that can always happen. But nice cathedral there from Enmet. And Kashmod into cathedral.
Nice.
Also,
didn't forget it.
Yeah, also remembering to grab his missile pack. So both runners still on the route to get their 100% items.
Yep, there's always some items that are typical to forget even when you're experimented. So
Yeah, the
Like
cathedral missiles, that's a big one.
oh
The
yeah,
pre-Fantoon missiles, precious missile. Like there's a whole bunch of things that the room strats just are divergent from other categories, but the rooms look very similar and loadouts are very similar. That it's easy to sort of muscle memory into bad movement or
yeah, that's true.
mistakes.
Oh,
King
and
Cac
yeah,
wins round 1 here, but Kashmod gets him in round 2.
the real boss in this game, King Cac.
As it pertains to Upper Norfair, absolutely.
Now Enmet got his speed booster, and also very good items, making you go so fast.
Yeah, really, this whole Upper Norfair segment is about having the items that you need, at least as far as speed booster, to get the items that you're going to be able to find in path, namely wreck ship reserve, waterway tank, and things like that you're going to get in your cleanup. But also, just in terms of making your movement so much better for the rest of the run. Enmet there going for the gap skip, electing to take the bad door here into double chamber as Kashmod fixes his door out of speed. There's so many little things.
Yeah, you encounter so many doors in Undo. You just having some door that you can just adjust to save times can play a lot in your times in the long run in Undo.
Yeah, and some of these doors cost upwards of half a second if you don't do them right.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's some very
I mean,
horrible door.
yeah, it's really non-negligible. It's kind of crazy once you start paying attention to it. And Enmet getting a nice exit here, gonna head down to Croc's Lair. Doesn't yet have power bombs, has to do this bomb maze with these Sovas. Has wave beam, so he won't need to do a gate glitch.
And that going for
And,
the
gets jagated.
oh, and it's going for early Krakamaya or early grapples. And in this route, there's something very cool you will see once you will get grapple beam. It's very hard also, so I won't say it right now because I want you to see it.
You think he's gonna go for it?
Oh, I'm sure you will go for it.
Okay, I'm probably gonna like wimp out and not go for it. Kashmod beating the gate boss on the first try, saving a little bit of time here as he makes his way down to Croc, getting a nice turn KO on that first little metal gamer, and then just kind of tagging the third one for fun.
And Enmet being very lucky, he got nearly perfect range on Croc. I think he only got 2 swipe.
Yeah, those swipes are 50-50. It's just RNG time loss. Kashmod. Okay, started off with a charge shot, which means he's only going to get 6 swipes for backing up as opposed to 8 for the missile into super setup that Enmet used. But Kashmod's ammo was a little worse, so he has 1 extra full Croc cycle out of the gate and having a little bit of trouble here with the Croc's hitbox too because of that spacer beam.
And I think it was perfect RNG for Kashmod there.
Yeah, so probably about time neutral. We do see both the runners were taking a dip in the acid there against the wall. Their arm cannons were angled up through the wall to fire a shot that opened that door that we just saw Enmet spark through so he can get over to these Croc power bombs more easily.
Yep.
We'll see if Kashmod also hits that spark.
And that is, with this route, the first wraparound that we see. If doing early ice, you go there later, so that's one I think the last wraparound in the early ice.
And we'll see if Kashmod gets it. Does fire at the door additionally. And Enmet getting the mock ball. Nice speed ball into grapple. It's a lovely
I love that speed ball. It's so swag. It's so cool to see, and it's so hard also to do.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, if you put too much on the jump, you just don't quite get it right. And here's that strat.
And Indiana Jones strat here, ladies and gentlemen. That's such one. That's such a good strat there. It's very hard, and it is the intended strat also.
Yeah, and he does it very quickly, whereas kashmod we see is going for the slightly slower but much safer backup of just spin jumping up with echoes going back down and then jumping over and getting the pantry missiles before getting grapple. Largely interchangeable, bonking the speedball there. But
It's the way
yeah,
Kashmir did is the safest way to do it. It's better to do that if you're not consistent with the Indiana Jones strat that Enmet did.
yeah, it's these little strats that just make a little bit of difference each point in the run that just accumulate over the course of a run. And so, barring any hiccups, I expect that that's kind of going to be the story of this one, is that we're going to see both runners have a very nice run, but Enmet probably just kind of leverage and pull away on the divergence of a couple little strats, or really a whole bunch of little strats.
Nice shot there from Enmet. It's not that trivial to get that super shot.
Yeah,
Now
we'll
we see
see.
Kashmir farming a little bit here because it helped for the rest of the round to have at least some health and some supers to be able to do all the shine spark you will need to do.
Yeah, this is actually one of the segments in 100%. This and actually completing the wrecked ship. This is probably the most important 10-ish minutes for health in the course of the run. So a little bit of an extra farm there can be really helpful.
Mm. And it seemed Emmet didn't go for the alpha spark. I think because he misjumped somewhere. I didn't really see.
Yeah, his health is certainly fine for the Alpha Spark, because he is going to be getting an E-Tank refill. But we'll see. Maybe he wants to save the health and go for Ocean Fly. Did go for a down back red tower, and then decides to back it up with a right side red tower after killing the top Ninja Turtle. It's a nice backup there.
Oh yeah, and killing it's really nice, especially since he was full super, and there's two Kak attack in at the top red towers, so it's a really good a good reflex that Enmet has there.
That's the canonical name for those rippers, by the way. I see chat giving me some heck about Ninja Turtles there.
Yeah,
There's four of them, and Raphael was being rude at the top there, so Emmett had to take him out.
but it's true that those are all always named Ninja Turtle. I never heard the different name, and nicely done from Kashmod. That was such
Kashmod,
a nice one.
yeah, nailed that down grab there at the top of Red Tower. That was beautiful. And Enmet going for a slightly slower strat here in beta power bombs. Not sure if he went for the faster strat and botched it, but I imagine he just was like, I'm just going to kill these hoppers. Had to kill him.
Yeah, you have to kill them.
Yeah,
No,
you
Emmet
have to
going up.
kill 3 enemies in that room. You can also kill the yapping maws,
Yeah,
and they'll
that's
count. You can leave the hoppers.
you need at least kill one upper since there are only 2 yapping mouths.
Yes. Yeah, you can only leave two of the 3 hoppers alive at most. But it's kind of funny that the room wants you to kill all the enemies is kind of the condition, but it really sets the flag for 3.
Yeah.
And Enmet taking a dip in the moat here on wreck ship entry. Grappling beam is a fickle mistress. Taking a little bit extra care here.
Yeah, because you think you might have the momentum because your swing look good, but sometimes grapple is like, nope, nope, you didn't swing enough. Now Embed is inside the wreck ship, and Kashmod's going to take his missiles.
Yep, he is setting up to power bomb out this wall, so he is in good shape. Is not going to forget these pre-Fantoon missiles. Gets that nice hop into Mockball on the spikes there. And kashmod, we'll see if he gets out of the drink here. He does, and he's going to get his spark in as well.
Also, there's something to know about those missiles there. I think it's technically faster to go take those missiles after killing Fantoon because you can do deboost, but it's so hard that everybody can just take them before going to Fantoon because the time stay is so negligible.
And nice speedball entry to Fantoon here for Enmet. And yeah, 25 minutes into Fantoon. This is a nice pace Enmet setting, and kashmod, as he has been, not too far behind. Nice strat there using the wave beam to shoot out all those blocks, and we'll see whether he goes for a speedball entry. Looks like he's setting up for it. And also nails it, man. Both these guys are just playing great. And I see that we can welcome in Kip to the commentary booth. Kip, how you doing today, man?
I'm okay, Maniacal. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
I do hear you.
Great. Crystal clear, dude.
Awesome. What's up, John? Thank you so much, John, for filling in for us today. We really appreciate it. We sometimes we have difficulty, organizing the commentary just because of work schedules and stuff. So we appreciate John coming in. But yeah, I'll come in and fulfill my duty here, Maniacal, and you can get back to the work you need to do as well.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to hand it off here to Kip as both runners are having some good Fantoon fights. Enmet wrapped his up, and I am going to switch over to spectator mode and enjoy the rest of the race with y'all. But John and Kip, enjoy it on comms. This is a great one so far.
Thank you, Maniacal. And John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very good, and you?
Doing well, man. Just, working a lot, adapting to some new stuff with work. But tell me a little bit about how this run's going so far. It looks like both runners are pretty close together here.
Yeah, they're pretty close. They both did nail some good strat. Like Enmet did get the Indiana Jones strat. I think kashmod, like Enmet, got both mid strat, but Enmet did went for the Dopplers though.
Well, that's cool. And I think you guys discussed, I heard a little bit of it when I was trying to wrap up some work. Y'all discussed, the two runners PBs and stuff. And obviously kashmod's a great player. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that 100% is sort of Enmet's main category in Super Metroid. So he's probably feeling pretty comfy here.
Yeah, I know Enmet pretty well. That you do like a lot of undo. So that is his jam.
Yeah, he's got a really nice time. I personally, I find Hundo to be, it's not necessarily a hard category in terms of just, completing a run, but I think when you start trying to run, faster times and improve your play, I find this category to be quite difficult because there's just so much.
Yeah, that's what we did talk earlier with Maniacals, that there's so much to do in this category. There's a lot to see that movement wise, everything can happen.
Yeah, so they were about to get a nice high five here. kashmod doing a quite nice little ball bounce there to get through the spiky death room. Enmet on his way out. He accidentally, I believe, took a spark hit right before that last platform. He could have done a D-boost off that bottom spark, but I think he just barely got mistimed, so he's in good shape. And we have Enmet doing the same kind of strategy on the way out, getting a nice ball bounce. But yeah, the runners are only about maybe 30, 40 seconds apart right now. It's pretty close for a Hundo run so far.
Yeah, very close. And since there's a lot to see, we can maybe see some league change.
So, John, I can't remember what all, every single person has done in terms of all their runs. I'm sure you've done your share of 100%. What's your favorite thing about Hundo?
There's so much. I will say my favorite thing is the speed keep attic, because
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, and it's a little bit easier to run some aggressive strats because you have more ammo and more health and stuff like that. And
yep. And also, it's all the little aggressive things you can do. And if we go with the early grapples, the Indiana Jones strat is one of my favorite.
that's another good one. I will tell you right now, one of my least favorite rooms in Hundo. Ooh, kashmod, excellent strat there. Did he end up shooting the door? I didn't see if he ended up getting the door.
I think yes, he did.
Okay, that's good. Well, he's entering, and Enmet just left one of my least favorite rooms in this run. this robot room is not very fun.
I think everybody hates that room with a passion. As we can see, we keep having difficulty with the robots. That's why I think it really hates that room.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a troll. I remember one time I ran that room and I got through, like I used the iframes to get through the robot, but then something bad happened and I like kind of KO'd back through it the other way. So there's all kinds of bad things that can happen in there.
And interesting strat for kashmod, doing a little speed ball when exiting the robot room.
Yeah, I've never seen that. That was cool. I like that.
Nice speed jump from kashmod. And now Enmet entering bowling. You will be able to enjoy some pose.
Well, John, you can feel free. You probably know more about Hundo than me, so if I misspeak, feel free to correct me. But based on Enmet's current energy, I think he's probably going to be in pretty good shape to not have to do the the ship refill before he tries to do the gauntlet spark. Does that seem like he's probably got close to enough?
Oh yes, more. He will have more than enough, especially with the reserve. And seeing his energy is really good, so I don't think he will refill. Unless he's used to refill to get some gauche about your ammo, because you can know also with the ship refill, when you get all your ammo back, you can see, oh, I think I'm missing an items. Maybe for a race it might be a good idea with that knowledge, but I don't think he will.
Gotcha. And it looks like kashmod had a really nice bowling spark there, and he has almost identical energy to Enmet. So it looks like both are going to be in pretty good shape to get that criteria power bomb here shortly, and then spark over for the gauntlet tank. And Enmet actually just protected a little bit of his energy by jumping a few times up that wall before sparking to get the wreck ship reserve. So that's one of the cool things about this category. Even though you do collect a lot of items, there are still places where you have to be, cognizant of your energy for speed. And this is one of them, so it's kind of cool to see them make some adjustments so that they're in good shape.
Yeah, because he still wants to conserve his energy, because he has one spark to do before doing the gauntlet spark, which is the spark to go to criteria power bomb's location.
Yep, and they're within 5 energy of each other at this juncture. So, typically they're going to grab these ocean missiles here, and then they're going to jump across and head to the landing site. So we'll see how it goes for Enmet, and however it goes for him, it's likely to go very similarly for kashmod here. So I would say maybe ballpark like 25 to 30 seconds behind right now. This is still very close.
Oh yes, for until that is a very close race up so far. And opting to not refill. With the energy up, he didn't need to refill at all.
Ooh, Enmet unfortunately sparked into the wall there, but that's not a huge problem. There are multiple options for running strats in this particular room for this power bomb. He's just going to opt to go ahead and enter and fire some missiles. We'll see if kashmod uses a shine spark in a minute. He did land in the acid. Enmet did a little bit here and did a deboost. He still should be okay,
yeah,
especially with his reserves.
Yeah, he still. Yeah, I don't think he even need to dip it into his reserve, because if I remember correctly, you need at least 240 energy to be able to get all the way through.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think kashmod went for the same shine spark but didn't quite get it, and now we got the cool swaggy spark by Enmet here. Nice. Perfect.
Optimally, if you go for the spark here, that's pretty hard. You want less energy to be able to end the spark at the ledge before entering the door, but There's not a lot of people that go for that spark.
And at this point, once you get the Gauntlet energy tank, you can be pretty liberal with your acid dips for the rest of those rooms, simply because here in about maybe another minute, they're going to pick up another energy tank. So typically not going to get in too much trouble.
Now, once you got Gauntlet Energy Tank, the risk of death is now very low. So getting some debuffs here by kashmod that Enmet also did. Accelerate being... It's a little faster than just walking and jumping around.
Look, I'm just using the eye test, okay? And again, I'm not like the world's foremost 100% scholar, but kashmod's PB on the spreadsheet was listed as like a 124, is that right?
Let me check it.
Whatever it was, I'm just saying this. To me, kashmod's movement is looking really good. Like this looks way faster than that. Okay, okay. That makes a lot more sense. The one he just mentioned in chat that it's a 122. I was about to say this movement is way faster than a 124.
Yeah, that's do make a lot more sense with a 122 for this movement.
Yeah, I don't know why I made that up. Sorry about that. Oh, Enmet, no.
Oh, that one's a costly mistake.
Everyone is simultaneously having negative flashbacks to playing this game for the first time and playing Metroid for the first time, falling in those Kraid's Lair gaps.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a huge deal. He can get it back, but it's going to take a little bit.
At least not one of the worst fall in this category, because Gauntlet and Mickey Mouse missiles both have worse room to fall, and I think also for GT missiles.
Oh, look at this. Emmet's doing something really smart. I wouldn't have thought to do this.
Same.
I would have just kept going.
That's very smart because you skip the door transition to return there, so it's less time to wait.
Yeah, that was very intelligent. I'd never even would have considered doing that. I love the muscle memory too. Did you see him super missile that blue door because he opened it earlier?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, no!
I think that was the muscle memory of it.
He saved it and then he lost it, and then he tried to save it again and he couldn't. My goodness.
Oh, that must be very frustrating for Enmet.
And just like that, kashmod has pulled into the lead. Let's see here. Obviously, you know, Emmet's losing a good bit of time here, but at the same time, we still have a very competitive match because this is still close. And on top of that, Emmet's PB time is actually quite good. I think he has a low 118. And so my assumption would be that he has really solid experience and movement, especially in the later sections of the run. So I think we're gearing up for quite a fantastic finish here.
Oh, yes. It's, I think Enmet time is a 118.22 on the spreadsheet. So kashmod opting to lay a power bombs here. Optimally, you want to get what we call mission possibles. Is you land with a quick falls, and then you, after taking the power bombs, you just jump to the wall jump into the crumble block. But if you're not that good with your movement, not used to that, it's just faster to go for what kashmod did.
Yeah, John, do you mind if I have a quick funny moment here? Do you mind if I imitate Super Metroid viewers real quick?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, why didn't you do Mission Impossible? Sorry, I get that a lot. the strat that kashmod went for is actually, John is correct. The Mission Impossible strat, as it's called, is definitely the most optimal thing. If you run that strat, though, to save the full amount of time, you also have to adjust slightly the order of other items you pick up in Big Pink. And so, you know, to get the full value out of it, you have to practice several other things, not just that room. So I think kashmod made a good decision if he's not comfortable with the strat to just kind of do it the normal way.
Also, there's the very important thing is that you need to shoot the large side uppers in the right orders in the with the right rift and all to them. When you exit, you can kill them, deboost and exit all the way through. It's very hard to do optimally.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So once again, we got a neat high five here.
Yep.
And what is this wave gate room? I don't know what you call the room.
This room we call it the wave gate E-tank room.
Cool. So yeah, they're pretty close here. Kashmod's getting ready to head back down past the charge beam location to get his waterway energy tank. And he will not have to do any kind of special short charge like we might see in randomizers because he is equipped with that gravity suit. So he's just going to run straight through. Real quick, here's a kind of neat piece of trivia that I discovered myself. You'll notice Kashmod just did a bunch of arm pumps. Based on all of my tests, and I'm not saying my tests are 100% accurate, but based on my tests, when you're heading in, it's actually slower to arm pump because it causes more lag. I don't know why, but it's weird.
That may be because of all the enemies with the fact you're blue that create more image, more movement, so the game has difficulty to all put that into its memory. That might be why.
Of course, it could be that my version of the practice ROM could be inaccurate on that room, so I won't say it with 100% certainty, but I did find that interesting when I was messing with it one time. Kashmod remembering to pick up one of the missiles that if people are first playing the game and trying to get 100%, it's one of the missiles that can sometimes not be picked up because it's hard to find.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. Also, talking about missile that's easy to forget, they didn't forget cathedral missiles, one of the easiest missiles to forget also. And then this, I don't think I see Kashmod do it, but Enmet did power bounce also the yellow door on its way toward Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, Enmet was very close there on that blockbuster strat. That's one of my favorite strats of this run. And you also see it, I think, in like Double Norfair RBO. Very cool strat. He almost had it. He just needed the mock ball, but couldn't quite get it at the very end. It's pretty.
It's very non-trivial strat, the blockbuster. Oh, Kashmod with a short charge.
First try.
That one short charge is pretty hard. So kudos to Kashmod to get it the first try.
Ooh, I like that tube break Enmet did. He did like a little spin jump through it. I've never done that before. I always just like crouch and do a regular jump or whatever. That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, and Enmet just gave me a little heart attack, thinking he was forgetting about Main Street when he opened the door.
And we get the nice visit to Mama Turtle here.
Yeah, I think Mama Turtle missiles, it's one of their missiles that can be easily forgotten.
Yeah, I think someone one time made the point that it's really difficult or maybe not intuitive to find those with the X-ray scope. Because if you're playing casually, a lot of people are, basically using the X-ray scope in like every room trying to find stuff. And it's kind of hard to find that one.
Yeah, that missile is too high for when you're below it with X-ray and too low for when you're above it with X-ray. So you can't just go and use X-ray like that. I know that one casual player did use Mama Turtle to be able to X-ray that zone. And now taking that pack of super missiles. Kashmod doing a Shining Spark all the way up. And then going to the beach.
Comes a nice D-boost. Always like that one.
Me too. It's all those little things sometimes it's so satisfying to do.
So I mentioned this. I've been talking about this for years, but look in this room. These little flying creatures, to me, if you've ever played Chrono Trigger, they remind me of those scout creatures that you see in like the Ocean Palace.
Since you just say that, now I can't unsee that.
Yeah. I've always found that interesting, and I also found it interesting that they're in the Ocean Palace, and here they're like in Meridia in the water. So anyway, those creatures are actually pretty annoying. If you don't get your jumps correct and they start coming in and hitting you, they can really screw up your ring.
Oh yeah. But they can be also helpful, like when you see Emmet entering the room, he did use one of them to deboost and be in the right position to do the bomb jump here. And now kashmod going to the left road here. I think unless it's only with a moonfall, you want to go to the right side, I think, to be a little faster.
All right, getting ready for everyone's favorite sea snake, Batwoon here. Let's see what kind of strat kashmod elects to use here.
Oh, using a decal X Factor. Oh,
So close.
Yeah. But we're having such a bad hitbox, but so far, every shot that landed on the button was a good hit.
Ooh, that was very clean by Enmet.
And on though that energy tank, you don't take it in the first visit because it is slower. It is just faster to take it on the second or third visit. It has no difference between the second and third visit. As fast, it's just which one you prefer.
Oh, kashmod nailing the full halfie, and then Enmet unfortunately getting sort of an accidental directional pad press there. Instead of down grabbing, he actually ended up turning around and then falling back down. That's very unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that you prefer not to do. A kashmod probably picked up, based on the fall, I would assume maybe in the ballpark of 10 to 12 seconds off that. Grabbing the precious missiles here, and now getting ready for that Dragon fight.
Let's see if one of them will use a ring dance. I think so far kashmod will do the standard X Factor on Dragon.
I will tell you this is probably one of my favorite things about Hundo, which is that if you really screw up on your short charges and have a poor time with your Dragon fight, you at least have a ton of ammo that you can back up and still potentially kill her with. So it's nice to have that backup.
Oh yeah, and with early grapple also, you can, if you're not confident with your short charge and don't want to do the ammo fight, you can do the grapple kill, which is the second fastest way to kill her.
That's right, and that, to your point, that's one of my favorite things about Super Metroid is that obviously there's going to be optimal strats, but really, the game allows for so much creativity and options that you just do whatever you're comfortable with. I think that's awesome.
Yep, it always amazed me with Super Metroid. The developer think of everything to let the players achieve their goals in their own way.
Exactly. It's like a blank canvas.
Yep.
We get to use some happy little speed strats.
Suddenly, undo you're forced to take that items. So far, the race is still pretty close.
Hey, I like that strat by kashmod there. Somebody in chat might have to correct me, or maybe you can, John. He just straight stopped on the sand and then jumped.
Yep.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yes, you can do that. It's non-trivial, but it's not hard. Also, it's just a little precise because you don't want to jump too soon because the game will still consider you have some momentum, so you will go all the way. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Stuff like there.
Oh my god.
Oh, so to continue is that if you jump too soon, you jump forward, and if you jump too late, you a little too much in the sense, so you don't jump high enough.
For those of you wondering why we freaked out for a second there, man, how can I explain this? That the room aqueduct there has 2 items in it that are gated by, well, in most cases, the speed booster you need to break some speed blocks. Technically, you can get in with a snail clip that people would do in like randomizers and stuff. But anyway, there's some really advanced strats where you can do a speed keep and kind of jump up through there with I think either a regular jump or a spring ball jump or something like that. Or you can either fall through the bottom doing some speed keep stuff. But anyway, it can be dangerous because if you don't do it correctly, you can actually get stuck in the middle. And if you get stuck, it's over. So
Yep. Because the
Enmet
top
was very close.
Yeah, because the top speed block of both the lower section and the upper section respawn. So for the lower section, it's very dangerous of what you just said.
Now, let me stop here. It's kind of hard to keep track. It looks like they're synced up, but if I recall correctly, I don't think Enmet has picked up the Botwoon tank.
Nope,
as you can see at the top, he's got 3 instead of 4 like kashmod. And did kashmod already do Aqueduct, the 2 missiles, or is he going to do that on the last pass?
Yeah, I think Enmet prefer to take it the 3rd visit, since you have some debuffs to do, and with all of these boosts you lose energy, and it's a nice refill at the end.
So Enmet is at least 1 item behind at the moment, and possibly 3. I did not see if kashmod went up there or not.
I think Enmet also didn't took the Aqueduct items, because I think he will go for the blue bombers.
Right. He'll try it again on the 3rd visit. So we won't know for sure exactly how synced this is or how far apart they are until they're going to grab the Meridia Reserve, I think.
Oh, and congratulations to kashmod. He is the best runners. He killed Shaktul. Always kill Shactals. Shactul's an evil piece of space pirate machinery, so if you can, destroy it.
Enmet, unfortunately, running into the ceiling there. I can probably speak for Super Metroid runners everywhere when I say that, having momentum and jumping through a room with space jump and then accidentally clipping into something and then slowing down is one of the most annoying things there is.
Yeah, it hurts so much when it happens. And sadly for me, I do often that mistake in Undo.
Great door fix there by both players. Obviously, they didn't get it to the magic 42 frames, but I don't even know if you can fix that door 100%. But they did a nice job of correcting it. It would have been significantly worse had they not jumped at that.
You can correct it. I don't think you can correct it perfectly, but you can still correct it.
You know, and the funny thing, John, is I find door transitions to be another one of those like really interesting things to discuss with Super Metroid speedrunning, because there are, as you know, instances where you want to fix doors, but then there's other ones where you don't want to.
That's very true. There's some, if you fix them, in reality you lose more time than if you didn't fix it at all.
Oh, that was cool. They both fixed that door, but in different ways.
Yeah,
one went
and I
up
think
and one went
that
down.
door is one of them you don't want to fix, because you want more running speed to fall down, to go quickly down.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna. Anybody in chat can correct me because I don't run this strat, but I think you can actually correct that door by doing a moonfall into the room and then falling into the small pit on the right. And if you go down far enough and you run, you'll actually fix the door. But it's pretty complicated.
Yeah, but you need to moonfall before as entering. So when you see the Puyo, I'll stack up that is a tutorial for plasma beam. You need to begin the moonfall there. So.
Hey, Enmet's grabbing that item that he currently didn't have, so now we have a better idea of how far behind he is, and we will even further in a moment when they go through the aqueduct. But I do want to point out one small thing that we will see since we're talking about door transitions. I mentioned this last time I was on a Hundo commentary. Door transitions also happen even when the screen goes completely black and you can't see anything. So in particular, if you pay attention to both of these runners, when they get to the bottom of Aqueduct, they're going to be going down one of the sand pits, and the screen will go black. However, there's still a door transition, and some of those doors can be absolutely atrocious if you go down them in the wrong way.
Yes, and very nice job from Enmet getting the blue bumpers.
Yeah,
But-
that was tight.
Yeah, but what you said was very true. There's some door transition that you think it's nothing. We see since we see nothing, it's like it's nothing. There's nothing to fix. But no, with the practice act, you see that some of them can be very atrocious, like you said.
Nicely done by kashmod there, not falling down through those crumble blocks, which I have done many times. Enmet also doing a great job buffering that spring ball. If you don't like spring ball, I mean, some people don't like the effect it has on your movement, but if you don't like it, you at least got to appreciate its ability to keep you from falling in crumble blocks.
Yep, especially for GT missiles.
So at this point, we have a less than 10-second difference between the runners. About 6 seconds.
So even with the little difference with grabbing the items, it's still a very close race.
Definitely. And speaking of which, both runners are going to need to pick up their Kraid missiles. And the cool thing about Kraid missiles is you can actually kind of pick it up different junctures. I personally pick them up right now as they are after Meridia. I know some people like to do it after Lower Norfair on the way back out. It's fine either way.
Yeah, it's fine. If you don't do the spring ball strat that Enmet tried to do before or after Norfair, it's fine. Yes. If you go for the spring ball strat, you want to do it as you go before Norfair is faster because I'll just spring ball make everything easier.
That's right. And since we're about to get ready to, these runners are going to be grabbing the ice beam and then one more missile pack on the ice escape before they head down to Lower Norfair. So before they do that, I want to kind of talk about something that maybe is a little too cosmic brain, but I do find it interesting. And John, you can tell me if you agree or disagree. It's just kind of a fun discussion point. But it might not be true for every single runner. But as I mentioned earlier, typically if you look at someone's PB in a category, if there is a fairly significant difference between the two runners, most of the time, that difference is probably going to show up in the later portions of the run. As people get better at Super Metroid in different categories, a lot of times they kind of progress in the early game first and get solid there, but then maybe sometimes their later game struggles to keep up with the skill of the early game. And so with kashmod having a PB that's about maybe 4 minutes behind Enmet's, since they're synced up right now, obviously it depends on your individual performance in this one race. But I would probably say that Enmet is probably going to be a little bit more equipped to have a more consistent late game based on his PB. What do you think?
I agree really with you because me too as a runner when I began, I did a lot of the same mentality mistake. We can say that you reset for every little things that you should not. So your early game will be great, but your mid and especially the late game might be very bad. It's not true for everyone, but I feel like for the Metroid case it's true. So,
yeah. And as I mentioned before, though, this is a one-time run, race setting, so anything can happen. Nothing is guaranteed, but it looks like we've got a very close match, and I'm very curious to see how Lower Norfair goes. This is one of my favorite portions of any run. I just really like the rooms and the strats and the boss fight. I think Lower Norfair.
And very nice deboost there from kashmod, laying the palm next to the door and then deboosting of the Viola as the door opened. So now, both are in Lower Norfair with one of the best music in this game. So,
Oh, kashmod.
Oh.
Did he get it?
I think yes. Yes.
Oh, baby.
That strat is it's so nice to get. And
I think
Enmet
Enmet got it
also
too.
not
Oh, so
completely. I think also I remember that it was with Zinni. He said that you want to only do a one tap to have a better chance to get the strat,
Right.
as it gives you the right amount of speed to do the number of space jump you need to do.
All right, Emmett, please use the spring ball. Oh my
Whoa.
God! You have got to be kidding me with these crumble block jumps. If I'd have known that I was gonna have to experience this much anxiety to do commentary on this run, I wouldn't have signed up for it.
Oh man, it always brings so much anxiety seeing someone jumping on those scramble block without being morph ball. But I think Kashmod did use a spring ball to get 3D missiles. And now one of the best item in this game, and it's a very powerful item, the screw attack, because you can just move around. Your invincibles, practically nothing except for very few things can hurt you, and you kill basically nearly everything with it.
There's a question in chat. You might know the answer, John. I don't think it's very many. Is it just one frame to jump off a crumble block, or do you know how much?
I think it's a 2-3 frame windows. I know in the GBA Metroid it's frame perfect. Same thing with Spring Ball. It's still frame perfect. You need to press jump at the right frame. But in Super Metroid, if not using Spring Ball, it's about you have 2 or 3 frame. But I'm not very sure about that.
Well, that's okay. I don't know either. Let's just say that it's pretty tight. How about that?
Yeah.
So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw a second ago on Emmet's screen is he got the short charge, if you will, for the fast pillar strat, but then he sparked into the ceiling, and that's not as big of a deal in this category since you have space jump and screw. But where you find some of that time loss is at the end of the room. It starts to lag pretty extensively, and so you lose. I don't know exactly how much time the lag makes up, but it's pretty significant. So he lost a few seconds in that room, but he is already, after some clean movement with Mickey Mouse, caught back up. So he's about 5 seconds behind here, maybe less, going through. This is the Key Hunter staircase, correct?
Yep, the Key Hunter staircase. And Enmet you kill all the Key Hunters, which reduced a lot of lag. This room, the Key Hunter stairs, is very infamous for its lag, because if you don't kill a single Key Hunters when you leave power bombs, you will you will hate yourself because it lags so much. Even just one Key Hunter kill, it reduces the lag so much.
Yeah, Key Hunter staircase, and I'm pretty guilty of it. I won't get into it, but I actually run some strats in there specifically that are the lag strats, but I've tried to like cut time in other places to make it easier. But anyway, if you're going for in-game time strats, that's one of the best rooms in the game for in-game.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about to kill them. You just run through them.
Oh, Enmet getting one of my favorite strats here, a little powerhouse. Kashmod fell just a little bit short, and y'all, we are about to have a very tight Ridley fight.
Yep, 20 short shot for Ridley. Also, fun fact, that Ridley is still in your iframe, so as you can see, Enmet, he was in screw attack, got hit. He didn't predict that, so you get a little deboost with that. It's always fun, those accidental deboosts also. Seeing Kashmod as a better RNG.
Cash, nicely done there, and also did a good job of ending the fight at the right moment. Enmet unfortunately lost a little bit of time there from not being able to get grabbed at the right moment, and that can happen with Ridley, man. Ridley is a very complex fight. You could spend hours just working on literally the ending.
Oh yeah, Ridley's AI might seem simple, but it is way more complicated than most people think. Especially since Ridley still, I think, also has its own AI, and and works differently from Ridley.
They just grabbed the Ridley energy tank. How much time does that lose versus getting the Batoon energy tank? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong category.
If it was for low person, I have zero idea.
kashmod unfortunately getting stuck there and couldn't quite get that strat to get out. Enmet did nail the speed ball, and that is one of those rooms, I'm telling y'all straight up, Wasteland is a room where the difference between getting everything clean and not can be pretty drastic. Enmet made up several seconds in that room.
Yeah, that speed ball is one I find personally is one of the most important one to try to nail and practice a lot, because it can save a ton of time.
Looks like Emmett's getting ready for this D-boost back onto... Did he freeze the other Fire Flea?
And nail it.
That's
Very nice room from Enmet.
Yeah, this is another one of those rooms that if it goes wrong, it can go way wrong, and Emmet got everything real clean. He's taken about maybe a 12 or so second lead.
Oh, Enmet did it. Feel like he will got it. Ah. I think he spring ball just a little too late to get the Autoruby Special.
kashmod did a great job there using his screw attack to break that block up there. Unfortunately, got a little bit weird jump there, but he's good now. He didn't end up... Some people lay power bombs in that room, and that's fine, but it does add lag, so
Yeah.
it was good to use that.
Enmet using the grapple strap to open the doors. And I was never able to use grapple to open doors when you move and runs. I don't know how that works. For me, it's still black magic.
Talking about grapple?
Yeah, grapple with when you run and open the doors with grapples. I can't get it.
Yeah, I think, to me, I'm not good at it either, and I think what makes grapple so fascinating is that every other beam or projectile that you fire just instantly fires when you press the button, but grapple actually will extend for how long you hold the button. And so it actually is kind of like fighting against your muscle memory, if that makes sense, for every other projectile you use.
Yeah, I think it's because of that.
Come on, man, I was trying to give you an out.
I'm not good at helping myself out of the embarrassing moment. I'm sorry.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'm not good at using grapple either. Oh, both runners doing a good job there of firing that super across the room and then de-boosting off that waiver in Bubble Mountain. They're going to pick up 2 more items back here with the reserve and the missile pack beyond the one kashmod just picked up. And then one of my favorite rooms of the 100% run is coming up. It's the last time you're in Bubble Mountain and you need to pick up the bubble missiles. I'm curious to see what kind of strats they use, but I think this room is really neat.
Oh yeah, the strat for picking up bubble mounting missiles it's really great. And
Nice
nailed the
D-boost.
D-boost. Now let's see for kashmod.
kashmod got that a little cleaner on the front end and a little bit cleaner on the bottom too. Emmet took just a second to get through some of those blocks, but that was really nicely done by both players. And I believe that's the last Norfair item.
Yep.
And so they will now head back to X-Ray before they do some more retro Brinstar clean.
If one of them have done late ice, they would have gone to Krakenmeyer instead of going to Rock Speedway. I mean early ice, not late ice. Now this is the second moment you can take Craig's missiles if you want, if you don't go for the Springball strat. And now they're on their way to take X-ray. A very broken item in this game.
Enmet flashing those pro strats going through these rooms using that spring ball. That was really nicely done. Kashmod looking to follow suit here. Just barely missed the momentum.
Enmet opting to go to the spike to get more running speed. And now, yes, the most broken item in this game. I can let you do a lot of things that, sadly, most of them are not legal for this category. And at the same time, it's a good thing.
Yeah, X-Ray can do some strange things in this game, that's for sure.
There's something sad though, is since it's so late in the game and when you get plasma beams, it's no longer also useful because all the best you can use that technique is you cannot do the microwave option for everything. So at least in GT Classic you can do it, which is very satisfying.
Yeah, speaking of GT Classic, that's one of our categories for this week. Just a quick reminder to everybody, this is the multi-category tournament. And right now, every week, we're doing a Swiss round. So every week, you're generally playing someone in your record tier. And the three possible categories this week, as mentioned at the beginning of the race, 100% here, GT Classic, and low percent ice. This is the first week we've had low percent ice as one of the options. Really excited, and I hope at least one or two people run some low ice for us so we can get a fun race in.
Oh, I do hope to see some low percent ice action too.
Dude, Enmet just ran a real sick bounce ball, or I guess spring ball strat with the speed keep or something. I don't know how to explain what he just did. I've never run that strat, but that looked real nice to get that power bomb and then energy tank in the seat.
I'm not too familiar with that strat, but I know if you get enough run speed, you can just jump, shoot the door, get a deboost on the zoomer, and then continue on your way.
Kashmod going through the John Cena Bridge, or I guess over the John Cena Bridge, and then Enmet doing the same thing here. We got a nice little high five. At Kashmod is presumably maybe 20 seconds or so behind based on the fanfares.
So now this was the last item in Retro Brainstorm for Enmet. There's still 2 more items in criteria, and then it's time for Durian.
I'm sorry, do they have 3 items left?
Oh yeah, 3 items left.
Yeah, I think they got Mother Brain and then the supers and then 230, right?
Yeah, 3 items.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I haven't done enough hundo to know. A lot of times I don't even know like where I am in terms of item collection. I think X-Ray might be like 90 or something.
90 what?
For some reason I was thinking that X-Ray was the 90th item in this particular route, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, it's not. It's not 90. This.
Oh, that's not good, but Enmet is able to hopefully get... Okay, he's going to have to redo this. There we go. That can be a tough room if you miss the freeze on the... What do you call those things?
They're a boyan.
That's right.
I think people have others pet names for those. Oh! Kashmod frozen and clipping it.
Not good.
No, but there's not a lot of people that know that, but you can kill them using super missiles. So they only take 3 or 4 supers to kill one of them. So I think Kashmod didn't know that because it would have been just faster to use super, kill that creature, and then short charge. And also the chat also saying that 3 power bombs killed those creatures too.
Well, Enmet has finished his collection, and he's going to be getting ready to head down to G4 here and take a quick break. Kashmod grabbing the 230 missiles as well, and he'll head that way. And we've got a pretty tight one here.
Oh yeah. And now in the G4 statue room, which I like to call also the horizontal bomb jump training room, because I'm always practicing my HBG here.
Yeah, that's a good name. I call it the room of silent reflection because every time you're on a PB pace, you're just thinking about how you don't want to screw it up.
That's a very good name too.
You know how sometimes in life it's like if you're in the middle of something difficult but you're rolling, you just kind of want to keep rolling. This game doesn't let you do that. It makes you stop and think about it.
Yeah, there's multiple plays. There's bowling, there's G4, and there's the acid statue in Undo, where you just stop and you can think.
Ooh, up until that last Metroid, that was a real hot room by Enmet, but unfortunately got a little tripped up there at the end. The great news about Hundo is you can run pretty aggressive strats in the Metroid rooms because you don't have to worry so much about not having supers.
And kashmod opting to unequip at the same time Varia and Screw Attack. So Varia to make a standard glitch easier, and Screw Attack to make the Zebedite skip easier. Because if you have a Screw Attack, you need to either do the Dombat skip or the Speed skip.
Well, right now, Enmet is enough ahead to where missing a baby skip, whereas Kashmod getting it still would probably not quite catch him up, but I'm sure he doesn't want to give that chance. So this Metroid skip still looms pretty large. Let's see how it goes.
Clean all the weed and nailing it.
Nicely done.
Also, what is fun in Undo, if you miss the baby skip because of your reserve, you can just decide to not refill at the image refill, and just continue.
So let's see what Kashmod does with his skip. Enmet getting ready for some Zeb skip action here. Kashmod going for the slightly faster, no lag skip. It's looking good. Ooh, Kashmod, that was a nice, very clean skip. Well done.
Well, nicely done, Kashmod. And Enmet is now at his Mother Brain 2 fight. Mother Brain 1 fight was so fast we didn't even see him fighting while we were watching Kashmod. Now, Mother Brain 2 fight, 20 sharp shot, and when she receives the 60th sharp shot, she will enter into her catch-up phase, where she will throw long, big red beams.
That is true. And actually, John, I think now would be kind of an interesting time or a good time with low ice being on the docket for this week to explain that the reason she fires the catch-up on her 16th shot in this category with the full beam combo is because if you hit her with 15 shots with the full beam, then she is at exactly 25% health left.
Yep.
The second that you go even one damage over, 75% damage or whatever, she'll start to do the red beam. So For example, in low percent ice, it's 200 shots. Once you hit 150, she'll keep attacking like normal. When you hit 151, she's going to start beaming. So that's kind of how that goes.
Yeah, you're entirely true on that. And Kashmod also going for the stand-up glitch. Also, there's one thing interesting with Mother Brain when she do rainbow beams is that you want to be as close as possible to the wall, because you begin to take damage at the same frames you touch the wall. So the more far away you are from the walls, the longer it takes for you to take damage, the longer the rainbow beam phase stay. So we see Enmet and Kashmod in that long beginning to damage Mollering 3, but as long as they don't get Hyper Beam, Mollering 3 cannot die. Even if she's at 0 HP. And perfect stand-up glitch for Enmet, needing only one shot to kill her.
And Mother Brain 2 or Mother Brain 3 doing her favorite fire bat impression there. And Kashmod will be finishing up his stand-up glitch as well while Enmet is escaping. Man, this race ended up being quite close.
Oh yeah. And we did see some league change also, which was pretty exciting. Kashmod needed more than one being fight. It's still hard to get the perfect stand-up glitch. It might seem that it's free, but it's not free to get all the required shot to get a perfect stand-up glitch. So for the few shots needed for Kashmod was still a very good stand-up.
I haven't looked at the spreadsheet for like, you know, we have a category for like, you know, closest races and stuff. This might end up being the closest hundo race of the tournament so far in terms of time between runners, but I'm not 100% sure. We've had some races that have been slower than, or excuse me, not slower, closer than this, but I don't know if one has been this close in hundo.
In hundo, I don't think so. It's not even.
We'll double check.
I'm looking right now, and there's not a single in hundo for the closest.
Well, I'm not in the SRL because I came in late. John, can you handle the official SRL time?
Yes. Enmet finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour and 22 minutes. GG, Enmet.
Yes, GG to Enmet. Great run. And it is an official SRL time. For the moment, it'll become officially official once we see the 100%. But yeah, I'm confident that he got everything. So great run, Enmet, and congratulations on the win.
And GG to Kashmod, finishing second place with an official SL time of 1 hour, 22 minutes and 49 seconds. And Kashmod did say in the SL channel that he was 16 seconds behind PB.
And I would imagine that's probably at least 100% race PB for Kashmod.
No, it's not for the race. The SL Buzz is not saying that it is a PB.
How about that? So I guess his PB is his race PB as well then, huh?
That might be.
How about that? Well, congrats to him. Kashmod had a great race there. Really nice time. Being able to run, you know, in my opinion, running a time that's that close to your PB in a race is really phenomenal. So congratulations to him on an.
Oh yeah, big, huge GG to Kashmod to be that close to his PB. It's especially in the race setup. It's not that easy to stay close to your PB.
To answer a question, there is no time penalty for not having 100% items. You just get DQ'd. And the reason that we have that is because, 100% item collection is a category with specific rules, and if you do not finish the run with 100% items, then technically you did not finish the run as set by the rules, if that makes sense. So same thing for like low percent. You can't get an extra item and then take a penalty because you're not actually completing the run. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm confident both runners have 100%, but if for some reason a runner does not, they will be disqualified from the run.
So with that also, by seeing the SL time, a difference of 49 seconds, it will put that race into the closest race, and the only undo race as the closest race also.
Well, do you know if either one of them are going to be coming in for an interview?
I'm going to ask them right away.
While we wait, let me take a quick look at the schedule for the rest of today and see if we have any other races going on. I'm pretty sure we have a few more today. Looks like we've got the next one coming up at 6:30 Eastern Time between Stump and Matrick. That should be a good one. And they're going to race on SpeedGaming 5. After that, at 9:30 Eastern, we've got Gameaholic versus Lomi and Jones. That one will be on SpeedGaming 2. And then on SpeedGaming 6 to close out the night at 11 o'clock Eastern, we will have Hero 82 versus Maniacal. And I believe the two of them have a gentleman's agreement to go ahead and race 100% as well. So Maniacal was on commentary earlier. That'll be a great race. And it looks like we do have kashmod, I believe. My eyes are starting to get bad, so I can't quite see. But I think kashmod has joined us. Let's see if we can get him in.
And that did say that he will be there in a moment. So...
Okay,
anyway,
we are joined by both runners, kashmod and Enmet. Great, fantastic race today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, I'll let you start off with some questions.
I'm not very good with interviews, and I will still try. So, how do you feel about your race?
Enmet, you first.
Well, very, very stressful. I just could not get back into it when I did that first major mistake, and it was already bad enough because I saw that kashmod was approaching me before that. So then I got stressed up, and then of course it didn't help that I missed the item.
Yeah, Enmet, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Your run stressed me out too.
Oh yes,
we were really worried when you almost fell in those speed blocks.
Yeah, that's really not the strategy you should go for, but muscle memory kind of just had to go for it. And obviously the crumble blocks in goal and Teriso, yeah, any of those things would have been, it would have been dead by then. Sure.
I think the crumble block at Golden Teriso was the most stressful moment for me commentating that race, because it's very tight to jump from them.
Well, it's not really that difficult to do the space jump. It's just I kind of just zoned out for half a second, and all of a sudden I was on top of the crumble block. So I had really no clue what I was doing there. Could have just gone with a spring ball strat after all.
Well, Enmet, I gotta say, man, you did exhibit one of my favorite things about this tournament and about racing. I love speed running, but I really like racing because I think it doesn't always go your way, and sometimes bad things happen, and you just kind of have to stick with it and persevere. And you stuck with it. You didn't let it rattle you, and you were able to come back and finish with a victory. So that was a really good performance by you. And then on to Cash. Cash, I was very impressed, man. I mean, to run a time that close to your PB in a one-run scenario, especially in a race with a lot of viewers, was very impressive. So tell me how you feel about your performance today.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy. Not that happy. Most of my boss fights were not great. I missed the one particle on Batwoon. I had a 3-round Fantoon. Dragon was just all over the place. but it was pretty good movement, mostly consistent, and that kept me right up there with my PB, which was pretty good. My PB is not great for my skill level, I think, so I knew I had a lot of time to save, and it could, I could be well within my PB or even better. I mean, I missed the Metroid skip in my PB, so I knew I had that 30-second time save at the end.
Gotcha.
And then just at the beginning, I was a little flustered trying to get myself going in the climb, and then once I got into the rhythm of it, it just kept going.
Yeah, that's how it is with speed running, especially these races. You just kind of have to find your flow and then forget about all the rest of the, the extra stuff. But if you don't mind, I came in a little late. We kind of tag teamed on the commentary here. Maniacal was with us earlier, so I didn't get to be in the race channel for all the vetoes. One of my favorite things about this tournament is that it's not just, show up and do the same run. It's like you have to think about who you're facing, what you want to veto. Can both of you just, talk a little bit about your strategy this round for vetoes, and just also maybe what you think about the tournament in general?
Yeah, sure. So I have yet to finish a low percent ice run in the practice hack with save states, mostly because of Ridley. So I definitely said no to that. But I'm working on it. I'll get there at some point.
Cool. What about you, Enmet?
And then, I've been working on GT Classic a lot, so I was hoping for GT. But Hundo's good too. I love Hundo.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. You don't want to run something that you haven't completed or whatever, so that makes sense. Enmet, what about you, man?
Well, I think generally you have the advantage when you defer the veto, because if a scary category comes up, you kind of just have to veto that, and then turns out the second vetoer just gets to pick whatever category he wants. So it's kind of tricky, this meta game with a vetoing. Actually, you don't really know what your opponent will choose, and you kind of see what their main category is and see what they're good at, and kind of guess from that on.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, both of you, have started out the tournament 2-1 before today's race. So Enmet, you will move on to 3-1, and kashmod, you'll move to 2-2. But neither one of you are, out of being able to potentially make the playoffs. So really interested to see how things, continue from here forward. We really appreciate the show you guys put on today. It was a lot of fun. John, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay, well, if you guys are good to go, Cash, Enmet, I'll let you have a final word if you'd like to say something before we cut this down.
Just thanks for watching, and thanks for the commentary, guys. It was great.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and it was a really great race, so thank you for that, kashmod. And obviously, thank you for the commentary. It was really, really good.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, you're quite welcome. And before we close this thing out here, one quick thing I'd like to point out. If you look at the bottom right of your screen, we actually do have some prizes that have been, some cash prizes that have been donated by Balls Guarana and Mecha Cat Studios. So we want to really thank those, all the people with those companies for helping us out. I think it's really cool that Super Metroid is going to be able to have some cash prizes available for some of our runners. And so we'll see how that pans out when we get to the playoffs. But with that said, my name is Kip, and John, thank you for allowing me to come in and do some comms with you. It was fun. I will see you next mission, and I'll let you close us out.
It was fun also to come with you, and thank you for everybody for joining that great race. It was really fun, and see you next mission.